Welcome to Somewhere on the Spectrum, Navigating the World of Autism. My name is Sherry Dixon, and I am going to be your host through this 8-episode docuseries on highlighting the amazing qualities of the neurodiverse and sharing experiences from people who are on the spectrum or who are living with or working with those diagnosed with autism. I want to start by saying each of us represent a different field. Each of us come to this with our own experiences. I would never say I'm an expert, or maybe the others, but we do want to bring you our experiences so that you too can, number one, connect with us, but number two, understand that you're not alone out there in navigating this very confusing diagnosis. We know that there are some amazing characteristics of those on the spectrum, and we also know that there can be some very challenging times. We're going to talk about all of that. It's going to be very authentic, and it's going to come to you from people, as I mentioned, who are in the thick of it. So let me tell you a little bit about Somewhere on the Spectrum. This 8-episode docuseries will take you through the world of autism from birth to death. We're going to be hearing from people all over the world who work with others to make sure that this message gets shared out, that the supports are there for those who need it, and maybe even be able to shed some light on services or ways that our communities and you in the thick of it all can get those supports. My name is Sherry Dixon, as I mentioned, and I took on my very first position as a principal in 2006. I was working on the east side of Houston, Texas, and I noticed that a lot of our families would get very concerned, very confused, and very overwhelmed if their child was diagnosed with autism. Now, I'm a mom, but my child is not diagnosed. And I'm a sister of someone who did receive special education supports when they were growing up, but my brother has a learning disability, and that's a little bit different. I also say that sometimes I deal with the characteristics of being a person with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and I've learned how to control them, but again, completely different than autism. We know that there are so many points along the spectrum. It's hard to ever give a parent a specific profile of what their child will or will not be able to do in the future. And I saw it firsthand as a principal, how parents had to understand that. And for some of them, have the difficulty in accepting that. As I continued on my journey as a school leader and led 3 different schools in 3 different districts in 2 different states, this became a pattern. And even though I just finished my journey as a principal at the end of the 22-23 school year, I still noticed that there were a lot of unknowns, a lot of confusion, and a lot of concerns when parents would hear the diagnosis of autism. Now, way back in 2006, when this first crossed my mind, I thought, what can I do as a principal to make sure that my families don't continue to feel like they're alone, that they don't continue to feel like they're in the dark? I took on some pretty challenging schools in my career, and I wanted to be sure that I connected with my communities. And I wanted to be sure that when I sat in an IEP meeting with a family, that the families absolutely understood as much as we possibly could control when they left out of those meetings. Because there's nothing worse than being a parent and then you don't understand what's going on. I worked with my staff to ensure that they used language that all parents could understand, no matter their educational level. I ensured that my teachers communicated just as many strengths as they did areas of concerns about the students. And I ensured that my families felt comfortable to ask questions when they didn't understand. But what I couldn't control was those same types of questions and concerns that kept coming up. What does this mean for my child in the future? Can you tell me exactly what my child is going to be able to do and not do? And when things did get a little bit challenging, I can't say that I always had the answers. So, as this was building and growing, I believe that when you learn something, you have the obligation of sharing it with the world. And I had this bright idea that maybe one day I would have an opportunity to do some kind of documentary or some kind of show, which honestly I never thought would actually happen as I sit here in front of you today, but some kind of way to be able to just talk a little bit about how it all works, have some experiences shared. And I was thinking mainly just within the elementary school age. And as I progressed in my career and I decided to leave public education and start my own business in June of 2023, I also got connected with a production company that gave me the green light to be able to do something that I was dreaming to do. As I started to talk to people about this, I started to hear people say, oh my gosh, this is so needed. Oh my gosh, this would be so helpful. Oh my gosh, how can I help you? And it grew and it grew and it grew. Now, not only are we going to have a documentary, but more of a docu-series. As I mentioned, 8 episodes. We're going to be talking about everything from birth to death. We have people from Canada, from Africa, from the United States, all participating together. Each of these people represent a different component. Teachers, principals, special education directors, parents, guardians, siblings, and some diagnosed themselves. They're going to be coming to you to share, to talk to you, to help you understand, help me understand, help each other understand. It gives me goosebumps as I talk to you about this, because it truly is a dream coming true. And my only hope is that it does give you a little ease, a little support, and a little more knowledge so that we all can have a little more understanding of all of the uniqueness about these people. Now, I say we all are unique in our own special way, and we all probably have some of the tendencies at one time or another. But really, my dream is that we provide something that will help you and the rest of the world be able to come together, collaborate together, and work together, not exclude anyone, and help everyone have the best future they possibly can. So you're currently here with us today watching episode number 1, which is our introductory episode. I'm here with you sharing the project. And next, after our break, you're going to be seeing little clips from each of our participants. They'll introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about them so that you understand how they're going to fit in to this docuseries. Then, episode number 2, we're going to focus on the young years, birth through elementary. What happens when we start to notice that something's maybe not typical? What happens when we get to school? How do we navigate through school in elementary years? Episode number 3, we'll talk about the secondary years, because we know, or at least I know as a former principal, kids kind of lose their mind in middle school anyway, right? And then we're navigating these kinds of characteristics as well. So we'll be highlighting middle school and high school. And you're going to hear from some people that are actually diagnosed and how they navigated through those challenging times. And then we'll talk about what happens after school, public schooling is done. Do we go to college? Do we go out into the world to work? What are the next steps? So we have a whole episode, number 4, dedicated just to young adulthood and how we can support our young adults who are diagnosed so that they can be the best that they can be. As we continue on our path, we're going to be talking about how we get through middle age and the elderly. I connected with someone from Canada who is going to talk to you about how she had to step in after her parents passed on to take care of her elderly siblings and how she's navigating all of that. As we start to wrap up the series, I do want us to have one episode dedicated to what is happening in the world and how you can get involved if you're watching this. What are communities doing to support those on the spectrum? And then we'll wrap everything up with a final episode where we all come together, celebrate this journey, and share just one last parting thought as we send you off into the world to do great things with our fabulous friends who are on the spectrum. This, again, has just been such a dream come true. I've never done a docuseries before, so wish me luck for sure, but I know it's just going to be amazing. You are seeing this probably sometime around April 1st, because April is Autism Awareness Month. And we felt like this would be the perfect time of the year to get this series out. So what do I need from you? I need you to share this with others. I need you to listen with an open heart and an open mind to each person's journey. I need you, if you're an educator, to know that students with these disabilities can do amazing things. And as an educator, to understand never to take anything personal when they're having challenging times. We want you to be part of our crusade of getting the word out to the world about how fabulous those on the spectrum can be, even amidst those challenges. And finally, we want you to enjoy. Enjoy this journey with us. I truly have met an amazing team as I've been planning each of these episodes, and we're walking through how each one will look. And remember, we're not all experts, but we have had experiences, gained knowledge, and actually some skills in helping support those on the spectrum. Next up, after our break, you're going to hear from my amazing team. Brooke Duguay, who's a special education director on the east side of Houston, Texas. Inspire ND, Jennifer Dantzler, who works with those that have now left public schooling and they're figuring out their next steps. Molly Smith, Dallas, Texas. She's a parent. Glenda Kroll, the sibling I was telling you about in Canada, helping her brothers. Christy and Amelia Dunaway, mom and daughter. Amelia was diagnosed in high school, and she's thriving at Texas A&M. And her mom right here in Kingwood, Texas. Julie Lavia, business owner and on the spectrum from Canada. She's amazing. I've gotten to work with her. And I'm so excited for not only her story, but all of these stories. Wangai Fupa. She is from Africa. Aunt to 2 children on the spectrum. Megan Gray. Amazing educator, working with children with autism. Letitia Bradley, one of her partners in crime. And Barbara Marshall. Those 3 ladies worked with me for years, and I couldn't have done the work I did without them. They took care of our parents, they took care of our children, and we saw those children grow so much. And Allison Lines, who has been part of the process through so many different entities. And then, of course, me. I'll share all I know, encourage my team, and be here for you as we navigate this journey together. So when we come back, you're going to, as I mentioned, get a chance to meet these amazing members of my team. I couldn't be more proud. And I definitely could not have made this what it is today without their help. Somewhere on the Spectrum will air every Monday, starting April 1st for 8 weeks. You can catch it on phoenixtv.app, APP, which will also stream to Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Currently, we're streaming to 130 countries. But I also want to invite you, not just to watch the docuseries, but join our Facebook group, Somewhere on the Spectrum, where we'll continue to post new episodes every week, share stories, share strategies that work, and be there for each other in a community where we can support each other and learn together. All right, I think I've spoken long enough. And again, just super excited for you to meet my team. I will see you right back here next week for episode number 2, the early years, right here on Somewhere on the Spectrum.
Hello, my name is Christy Dunaway. Welcome to Somewhere on the Spectrum. I am a holistic entrepreneur with an 18-year-old daughter diagnosed with autism level 1. And I'm a devoted mother. I'm a devoted wife. I have always strived to help my family do their life better. And I'm very passionate about helping other moms navigate these waters that we are kind of finding our way through. Honestly, bringing a spotlight to autism and its incredible spectrum has been truly a blessing in my life, and I can't wait to share it with you.
Howdy, my name is Amelia Dunaway, and I am an autistic student at Texas A&M University. I am very, very excited to welcome you to Somewhere on the Spectrum. I joined this project because I love talking about, studying, and helping others learn more about autism. I was diagnosed at 16 with level 1 ASD, and ever since then, autism has become a major special interest of mine. Right now, I am pursuing my undergrad in behavioral cognitive neuroscience, and in the future, I hope to pursue a PhD in neuroscience so that I can continue to do exactly what I came here to do in this project.
Hello, my name is Glenda Kroll, and it brings me immense joy to extend a warm welcome to you for Somewhere on the Spectrum. This documentary not only is a source of inspiration and empowerment, but also an opportunity for you to gain insight into the world of autism from my unique perspective. I share my journey as the youngest of 4 siblings, starting 65 years ago, navigating the challenges of growing up with 2 brothers affected by Fragile X syndrome, which is a form of autism. As a young child, I struggled with the complexities of my family being different and facing social scrutiny while I was growing up. The challenges intensified some 30 years ago when my father passed away, leaving my mother as the sole caregiver. And then in 2006, a new chapter had unfolded as my mother, the primary caregiver, began exhibiting signs of dementia. This abrupt shift transformed my role from a sibling and advocate to becoming the primary caregiver and parent to my brothers. In this documentary, I want to delve into the hurdles I encountered and the victories that I celebrated while navigating the maze of medical care for my mother and brothers and securing support and housing and future plans for my brothers. Through this interview, I aim to shed light on the adversities and face the triumphs that have been achieved. Additionally, my hope is to encourage for you to contemplate about your own family dynamics and illustrate that with active steps, you can cultivate meaningful connections and a support system for you and your family. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Molly Smith, and my son, Graham, was diagnosed with autism just before turning 3. I'm excited to welcome you to Somewhere on the Spectrum and share our journey over the last 14 years navigating the world of autism. As a parent, I had so many dreams for my son. The possibilities were endless. When we received our autism diagnosis, I was both relieved and grief-stricken. Relieved because I finally understood what was going on with my son and it could help build a plan for him. But I also had to grieve and lay down the dreams that I had for him so that I could pick up this new reality and begin to plot a new course forward. And here's what I quickly discovered. I was dreaming too small for this kid. Time and time again, over the last 14 years, I have seen him accomplish amazing things and overcome adversity. My son, Graham, is one of the most amazing people I know. I signed on to participate in this docuseries for 2 reasons. First, because I want to share with other families who have young kids on the spectrum that in addition to the challenges that lie ahead, there is so much joy and pride and laughter in this journey. And the second reason was to get a glimpse of what's ahead for us as Graham transitions into adulthood. So I invite you to come along with us in this docuseries, Somewhere on the Spectrum.
Hello, everybody, and I am so excited to be part of this project, the Somewhere on the Spectrum. Now, the reason why I wanted to be part of this is because I am a grown adult and I have been kind of struggling with autism for all my life. However, I didn't really know that I actually had it until in few recent years when they had said that people could actually be on the spectrum. Basically, they could be high, low, or moderate, or mild. And then you don't have to necessarily be like severe to be noticeable that you have autism. So I've kind of been struggling with this all my life, and I just never was able to have a voice and have a platform to talk about it and talk about my experiences growing up as a child and still dealing with autism for being in most of my adult life. So this is a platform and this is a place where I want to take you inside and pull back the curtain so you get a chance to see like why I want to be a part of this project. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Julie Lavia. I am owner of Julie Christina Creates. I also like to help women boost visibility in their business, whether through digital marketing or PR marketing. And this is part of like my project to basically, shine some light on like the whole idea of what autism is and how people experience autism through their lens, whether they're a child or whether they're an adult. So with that being said, I just wanted to be here to just shine my light and to like have a voice and share a voice, and for anybody who's just like me as an adult struggling with autism, maybe possibly not even know that they have it, or even if they do have it, they're just so used to masking it all the time just so they can conform to society, and know that like you're not alone and that you can do this. And you have some people like myself who go through it every day and still don't allow themselves to be taken down and allow themselves to be put in a box. They allow themselves to shine, follow their dreams, follow their goals, and make a difference in this world, because maybe this is what having it is like a superpower for us, that we can use it and like help other women and help other other individuals like live with this and be okay with it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Somewhere on the Spectrum, where we all tell our stories through the lens and through the eyes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wonga and I'm excited to welcome you to our documentary Somewhere on the Spectrum. I'm a mom to an angel who was diagnosed with Kritusha at birth, and unfortunately she passed away at 34 days. During my stay in hospital, I discovered that the community at large is not really educated when it comes to syndromic children as well as adults. And it is my hope that through this documentary, we'll be able to bring awareness as well as educate the community and the world at large.
Hey there, everyone. My name is Allison Lyons, and I am the owner of Allison's Soul Image. And I am here with you today to introduce a very exciting new project called Somewhere on the Spectrum. And yes, I do hope that this will inspire and create a deeper understanding within you of the world of autism through my lens. And so it all started when I was young, and I had this big dream of making a difference in the world. You see, I always wanted to help others in any way possible. It was my dream to make the world a better place, to make an impact, to make change, not only change, but lasting change within others, and to do it one person at a time. And I believed anything is possible, and I still do. And you see, this is what inspired me to do Allison's Soul Image. I saw that there was a need for women who were trauma survivors to work through everything that they had gone through in life and to truly see who they were deep down inside, but not only on the inside, to see it on the outside too, to see that beauty and to discover who they are, the very essence, so that they can have the best life, have the most incredible dreams, and be the best, very best version of themselves. And that is why I started Allison's Soul Image. But you see, before that ever happened, I was a mental health case manager. Right after college, I worked with children who had emotional and behavioral disorders, and they were from ages starting when a child would have a diagnosis all the way up through age 21. I was their case manager. I worked one-on-one with the treatment team, which included families, doctors, anyone that was involved with their quality of care. And these children who had emotional and behavioral disorders happened to fall within the autism spectrum. I worked with a variety of different children, and I loved it so much. I got to see so many things, and so much passion went into helping these children and these families have the very best resources. You see, it was my job to work with everyone to create and develop a plan for this child so that ultimately the quality of care would remain the same for them throughout, and they would also have all the resources that they needed to the best of my ability. I worked with the insurance companies to ensure funding, and I often worked one-on-one with the children and their parents to see how they were doing and to just really experience what it's like to see autism firsthand and to see the effect of what it's like when there is a treatment team that's actually working. It's so exciting. And so from my heart to yours, this is a piece of me that I'm sharing with you now. And I just want you to know that anything is possible if you just believe. I do hope that this docu-series brings more awareness around autism and that you truly open up your hearts to see how beautiful autism can be. Thank you so much for your time. I do hope you enjoy the docu-series. And once again, this is Allison Lines from Allison's Soul Image. I hope you have the most beautiful day.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Dantzler, and I'm the Executive Director and Founder of Inspire ND, a nonprofit in the Houston, Texas area who's been serving families on the autism spectrum and other neurodiversities for the past 21 years. I am a licensed behavior analyst by trade and a visionary by heart. It is truly my goal and my mission to create inclusive communities for people on the autism spectrum. When I was asked to be a part of Somewhere on the Spectrum, I was very excited because one of the things I always say is ignorance is not bliss, and it's especially not bliss in this area. When I started in this field over 25 years ago, I started working in early intervention with little children. Then as the children grew up and services were still not available, I would adjust my program to meet the needs of those children and young adults. Currently, my program focuses on helping adolescents and young adults find their place in the community, whether it be on a job site, socially, in the community with leisure skills and engagement. What a lot of people don't realize is that it does not take a lot. It just takes a little bit of adjusting processes and systems and even our ways of thinking to be truly inclusive and to help everyone maximize their potential. A lot of people say that if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism, and I believe that to be true. I'm hoping that this series will help educate you and inspire you to help us create truly inclusive communities. If there is one thing I've learned from the last 25 years in working in the field and working with people across the whole spectrum, from verbal to nonverbal, From those who are trying to get into college to those who are just working on their maladaptive behaviors. With the right supports, there's a place for everyone.